comps have both been decided. The battle is coming, and here we are in round number 2, Splat Zones, Mako Mart. Let's take a look at these loadouts here, Otter.
Just waiting for the spec to get to it. You see Tent, Tetris Rush, and an L3 coming out from Bran. Dynamo, Explo, Zap, and the Blue Dapples on the side of Traditionalist Western Art.
Yeah, this is really interesting on the side of Traditionalist Western Art because typically, in my experience, you don't see the Explo and the Dynamo together. But in this particular case, they know they want to play both of those sort of mid-ish range chip damage weapons. And I'm going to be really interested to see how it pairs up against them.
Yeah, not only that, especially since it's a double cooler comp. But right now, getting the action, Kraken is trying to put pressure over on the left side on Bran. Not really getting anyone so far. We see the cooler comes online. A shark from Inkpen.
Oh,
it gets kind of janked by the hitboxes. And the zone is under control of Sunday Morning Sneedle. It's their time to push up now.
Yeah, definitely. I think that initial push went in their favor. Really good trade from there coming out from Kronos. If you are Traditionalist Western Art, you want to be able to recap with this Reef Slider. And unfortunately, they don't have enough paint on zone. But T-Man makes a huge play there with 3 down on the side. And that's going to flip it back in their favor. Now it's their turn to set up their lockout.
Exactly. We see Kraken trying to set up on stacks. Definitely a strong position, especially for that AoE. Sunday Morning Sneedle is just trying to build up specials, but that's a pick on the Ink Brush. Definitely going to man out 2 down. Makwa got some crazy picks there. Is going to let Traditionalist Western Art hold for even longer. We see the 1v1 between the Tent and the Explo. 1v1 of the slow Titans, but nothing really results from that. Kronos getting a great pick on Kraken the Dynamo.
Insanely good pick from Kronos. We saw, like you said, Otter, it's the battle of the 2 slow sort of midline weapons, and Kronos does come out on top there. Now, again, they're fighting Kronos once again coming out on top. You know, this has been whoever can set up the most, and every single time we see them basically get to mid, it's can we push out a couple people with another amazing pick from Kronos. Kronos is going crazy right now.
Definitely great Zook coming out. Sneedle is just trying to get any picks that they can, keeping the hold up. Right now, no one's gone down yet. There's both coolers are ready from Traditionalist Western Art. They get a pick on the brush. This is their time to go. We're at a 3v3. Just waiting on any other picks that they can get. Makwa trying to play into this Tent a little bit, unable to find anything. This game is really just kind of staying neutral. A cooler has come out. They might be pushing more aggressive. As we see Makwa trying to push the left stacks, goes down though.
Oh, Makwa again tried to push that stack. Was trying to get some fall-off shots on Kronos there, but just wasn't quite able to get it. They did get the flip, which is critical, but the penalty on their side is getting really low. Only about 11 ticks as the Dynamo and the Zap go down. That's 2 coolers they will not have. It is Traditionalist Western Art's turn to try to retake there, but they're going to need more specials.
Exactly. They've already got 1 pick, which is a great start for them, but they've got to go really soon. The match is almost over. They are fighting for the cap right now. Inkpen was able to secure the kill, and it looks like there's not going to be much painting power. This is probably going to be the game.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was the game. You know, that final pick from Inkpen where it was a Doolies versus Doolies match where you just want to prevent them from getting the Reef Slider and using that to cheese back out the zone. Didn't happen, and that is a 1-0 in favor. And, you know, something you said at the very beginning, Otter, was about the double cooler comp. And we sometimes see it. We sometimes see the no cooler comp. We sometimes see the 2 cooler comp. We mainly see the 1 cooler comp. But having a double cooler comp tells me that they want to play aggressive constantly. But the drawback of that is they only have at maximum 2 retake specials, right?
Yep.
And we kind of saw that in that game. You just want to get set up in mid. You want to out mid-range the other mid-range weapon you're fighting. And as we load in here, let's see what these teams come out with. Rainmaker, make it rain. All right, from the side here, Tent is staying, it looks like a very similar comp on the side. I think the only change, if I'm not mistaken, is Bran has switched off to that V-Splash from the L3, and I believe that's the exact same comp from the side of Traditionalist Western Art.
It is. They are sticking with that double cooler, taking the risk, fighting more main weapons instead of retake specials.
Yeah.
We see Sneedle gets the pop, so they have some paint in mid. No one has gone down yet. We're just playing a lot of, but T-Man gets a pick on the Ink Brush. It's a trade. It is still very neutral game right now.
Definitely. Bran pulling out with that crab, able to stall stall a little bit because right now it's just them and Kronos, and Brandon's playing up a little bit aggressive here as they wait for their teammates to get back in. We've sort of returned back to a neutral stall position. No team really wants to push the other too intensely until they know that they've got 1 or 2 down, as one in the 1v1 here, but slash 1v1. We finally see a pick out on both sides. Brand picks it up, and it'll be up to Kraken on the left-hand side to take it down, but oh no, they get punished.
And Makwa is coming by with the flank, trying to get anything. Brand is able to just ignore and running forward towards that check. It looks like no one is able to stop the Expo finally here, but Brand is still alive, just kind of ratting around. And Sneedle is going to have a very, very good position to be holding from. But Kraken comes behind them, trying to get something done here. Unfortunately, it goes down to Inkpen, and that is going to continue the push for Sneedle.
For sure, yeah. Kraken, you know, went behind with the Dynamo roll. You don't always see the Dynamo coming back there, but in that particular case, they did able to stall quite a bit. 3v3 situation on the field. Inkpen trying to stall out for their teammates to come back in, but we have so many specials and chip damage coming from the side of Traditionalist Western Art. It looks like that might be the end of this push here, Otter.
Yeah, definitely. And the wipeout just signaling that, yeah, this is the time. We see Traditionalist Western Art is trying to get up quick. Kraken painting up forward with the Dynamo. Seeing if they can get it. Cooler has come out. Inkpen and Soccer going on the right side with Kronos on the left side. Definitely trying to get a pinch here. Beautiful Zuka pick.
Oh.
Like 3 beautiful Zuka picks from Kronos. That's just, what can you do? It's a Zuka.
Yeah, it's so hard to counter that. I just want to call out what we saw on that side where Sakura and Inkpen basically both flanked, which gave Kronos the ability to put up their tent shield and pull out that amazing multi-Zuka pick that you saw. And really, I think it's a matter of, if you have the double cooler, you have to be able to push off of that rapidly, but if you have 2 very quick flanky weapons on the opponent's team, it really can be hard to do that, and sometimes you just go down.
Exactly. The flanks just make it so hard to look forward. You have to look at them. To ignore them, they just get you.
Exactly. Well, we're returning back to a mid situation here, and it's just been sort of a struggle here for Traditionalist Western Art because they keep on getting the cooler out, but every single time they've been going multiple down, and Jaeger here is just under so much pressure. They've been doing a great job painting for their team, but ultimately, as they're being pushed back with the Rainmaker again in their opponent's hands, they're going to have to come up with some way to counter this, and maybe that's it.
Yeah, Soccer able to push into that corner. Sneedle is really just going to try and keep it there. That's all they need to do. They have the lead. Rainmaker's a very stalling mode. But Brand goes down, absolute bloodbath in there. It looks like Sneedle has lost that space, though. And this is the time for Traditionalist Western Art to start to make a repush.
Indeed, you know, they have a pick on Inkpen. That's a really, really good start. That's only one weapon that's going to be doing a lot of the flanks, although the Tetra will be back quickly, and they do have to fight the tent shield down in lower right here. They lose one of their cooler weapons. They lose both of their cooler weapons, and that's another 3 down on the side of Traditionalist Western Art.
Yeah, just that giant, and a wipeout even. The giant tent shield and the 2 flankers just splits the attention so far.
Indeed, and look how quickly they've moved up here. It's almost as if they just want to put pressure on with Kronos and Brand again, working together with another pick from Inkpen. Is this going to be a knockout? Yes, it will, Otter. What a showing.
What a showing indeed. Just crazy flanks from both Stalker and Inkpen. They just... You can't look anywhere. Yeah. You can look everywhere, and there's an enemy. You can't focus on one position.
You're always got to have one behind you. I think that's a worst-case scenario when you have both a Tetra and an Inkpen potentially flanking you at any given time. And, you know, credits to Traditionalist Western Art because I think they knew going in that they were going to have 2 weapons basically always flanking them and the tent in the middle. And I could see that they were really pushing to get that paint control. They were really trying to get the cooler out one after another. And I don't see a lot of L3, but L3 has been rising a little bit with the buffs recently, and we'll see if they decide to go back to that L3 or to stick on the splash, which is, you know, the very, very tried and true, has been really good since the game started. Crab is always a top-tier special, but yeah, let's see what they go toward. Looks like, ooh, that is a big change here. No tent. Kronos has picked up the decap, and that is also a change on the side of Traditionalist Western Art. They're going with the bow.
So many changes from both teams, possibly because it's Game 3, but definitely trying out new things. We see both Inkpen and Sakura going on the far left flank. They're going to be fighting together, taking that attention. But Inkpen goes down to Makwa, leaving just Sakura over there. So far, no one's really able to push off of any of that, though. Space is kind of neutrally still in mid. Everyone's just looking for picks, not able to see. A couple of specials are online, but no one's using them yet.
Yeah, big change.
Ooh, Kraken is able to help him trade out for their teammate. They're able to find a pick on the pen. This could be huge for Traditionalist Western Art. But they run out of ink.
Barely ran out of ink there. Two separate flicks that probably would have killed. Unfortunately, they are able to punish there. But yeah, really interesting change to the roller that we didn't really talk about there. How there is a bubble now on both sides with Kronos on one side and roller on the other, although T-Man does lose that fight against Kronos, who also gets traded out from Makwa. It is just chaos on the field here, Otter.
Just so many fights going to happen, so many trades for everyone. No team has really gotten a certain foothold over the other. You see, we got a couple specials on this side of Traditionalist Western Art. Going to see if popping them is going to let them fight more.
Oh.
But Sakura finds a pick and then gets traded out by the roller. Just an absolute bloodbath here. Kronos pushing up in their pot, is able to find one. And he's going to look for another one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can say Kronos is going for the second one here. Kraken only needs one more, and their team does have 10 clams. The problem is no one is close to them at the moment. They might be able to push up here, but they will need the pick on Inkpen, which they do get. Kraken still has 7, only needs one more, and it looks like we are going to see a score here from the side of Traditionalist Western Art.
Certainly. This is definitely a clamped game. First score takes a couple minutes to get to, but both teams are just fighting hard for that space. Inkpen is just trying to stay alive here, poking from bats, trying to help their team retake the flat. No one's gone down yet. The zap does finally go down, which is going to be a huge loss for them. Another trade from the Inkbrush and Kraken. It looks like Sneedle is out of danger now, pushing back in the mid.
Yeah, Sneedle did a good job making that push no worse than it was. I was a little bit worried for them for a second because it looked like they had lost 2, but now it looks like it's their turn to sort of come back. But Makwa is able to punish Kronos on that zip there, and it looks like they're going to try to push up because it's still 2 down, but ultimately they don't have the clam economy yet. They're going to have to back up in the mid and pick up some more clams.
Yeah, they're just right now just holding the space for when they do get clams. The one thing it does let Traditionalist Western get more resources though. Kronos gets a good pick on Makwa, but and then the pen still goes down, so we're at a 3v3 situation.
Oh, battle of the bubbles here, and Kraken, it ends up being a trade with the thanks of Sakura's help here. Although, you know, basically this entire game, it's been like clam economy. We've seen both teams try and get on the opposition's base, and now here is the chance. You can't stop the Inkbrush, especially when there is a wipeout, and it looks like they do have a lot of clam economy in their hands here. Traditionalist Western Art is going to have to shut this push down real fast.
Yeah, definitely. That wipeout just let Sneedle get all the space that they wanted, and it's let them score a ton of clams. We still have 3 up for Sneedle. Cooler coming out from Brand. This could let them extend the push even further, but it only will happen if they have a clam in, and they do get some clams in. Overall, they're still fighting. They still have a good hold of it, trying to see if Traditional Western Art can get anything.
This push has not ended. This is absolutely unbelievable. There's been like 2 times I've thought it's over, they don't have enough clams, and even right now it's just Kraken trying to defend, gets the critical pick on Inkpen. It looks like the push is finally going to end.
Finally stopped the bleeding. Still definitely in danger. 16 is one heck of a lead for Sneedle. We see Kraken trying to find some stuff. Brand goes down, and Kronos goes down. That is going to let Traditional Western Art really push in.
Indeed.
Man, it's still a 2v2 situation. There's just so many trades happening in this game.
Yeah, you know, Sneedle, it seems like every single time they end up with 2 down on their team, they're able just to get a pick or 2, and again, the double flank, like we've seen this entire set so far, comes back through, and you know, they might not be picking up a ton of clams right now, but they are keeping Traditionalist Western Art back on their side of the field, and again, with a comp that has both a roller and a bow, they have to work from a map control perspective, right? Like, they need to get map control first and only then push, but with only 26 seconds left, it looks like they're going to have to make a push more out of desperation here. They do have the cheese ready. We'll see if they use it. That might be the end of Kronos. No! They survive! What is this?
Just crazy hitboxes from the Shark. Doesn't let them get it. Now Sneedle is just putting the pressure back on, and it looks like Traditionalist Western Art is not able to get the push that they needed. So far, And it's overtime because they have a power, but Sneedle's trying to get the score in.
It looks like they just want to end it right here. Otterin with 3 down. All they have to do is push forward and score this ball, and they push down the last individual from the team, and that will be the game. What a slugfest.
Dude, Trade City. That's all I have to say. So many trades going down, so many flanks. I don't think anyone was safe in that game.
Definitely not. Yeah, you know, Traditionalist Western Art, they had a really good showing there, especially at the beginning of the game, because they had the first push. They actually had, I think it was a 70 push 271 at the beginning, which was really exceptional. I just think the overall flanking, and then we saw Sneedle just on their plat for like 3 minutes. It felt like 3 minutes straight there, just scoring and scoring and scoring. But really good showing from both teams, and really excited to see what they do for the rest of this tourney.
Definitely. Both teams did a great job.